the ultimate result of those who are seeking knowledge, those who are seeking salvation. إن معرفة الله تعالى أنس من كل وحشة وصاحب من كل وحدة ونور من كل ظلمة وشفاء من كل سقم. The hadith states that when you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you realize Him, when you discover Him in your life, He's going to be joy and happiness and cheerfulness for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be cheerfulness and joy and a pleasure and sociability from every loneliness. Unsun min kulli wahsha, from every dread, every fear, every dismay in this universe. Unsun min kulli wahsha wa sahibun min kulli wahda. Allah is the right friend, the right companion, the right advisor, the right aid, the right neighbor. From every solitude, every isolation, every loneliness, people who live lonely, people who cannot find the right friends. If they find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then God will suffices them. God will be sufficient for them. God will be the best friend and the best companion and the best intimate friend for them. وَشِفَاءٌ مِّن كُلِّ سُقْمٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is at the same time the cure, the right and the appropriate cure for every ailment. وَنُورٌ مِّن كُلِّ ظُلْمٍ. And ultimately Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the right light. Allah is the light, the shining light from every darkness. Allahu nuru as-samawati wal-ard. مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the light of the entire universe, is the source of light, the source of guidance. In darkness, definitely when it is dark, we have a mixed feeling of fear, of dread, of confusion, and ultimately we're going to lose our way. We're going to lose our way in this life. We're going to get lost. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you have it in your life, then you have the light, you have the direction, you have the confidence, you have the map, you have the companion, and you have what is most needed to find your way in the nice way, in the most appropriate way, in the most successful way in this life. من ذا الذي يعرف قدرك فلا يخافك ومن ذا يعلم ما أنت فلا يهابك ألفت بقدرتك الفرق وفلقت بلطفك الفلق وأنرت بكرمك دياجي الغسق. This is how Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam speaks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, if we find you, then in essence we are really not in need for others. When you find the right source, then you don't go to secondary sources. Allah is the main source. And ta'rif rabbak. And this is what we have to do. This is what we have to strive to discover in this life. We have to strive to discover and find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our life. We have to find Him. My dear brothers and sisters, we cannot live in this life for many decades, for half a century, for 70 years, sometimes 90 years, without knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, without knowing the one who is closest to us than our jugular vein. وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. But once you discover Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're going to settle, you're going to have inner peace and inner stability. أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ. When we find Allah, the real God, in our hearts, when we place Him in our hearts, when we place Him in our conscience, when we realize that He is with us and we are not alone. When Jibreel came to Ibrahim alayhi salam at a very difficult, stressful moment in his life, where Ibrahim alayhi salam was due to be thrown into the heart of the fire. Heart of the fire. A blazing fire. The whole city contributed into lighting this fire. Not only Santa Ana winds, the whole city contributed into creating this fire for Ibrahim alayhi salam. And Jibreel came at a very dangerous moment. At a moment that Ibrahim was about to fly right into the heart of that fire. The whole city turned against him. Not even a single defender he could find in that city, among that community. Here Jibreel comes to him at this very tough and difficult time and poses to him this question. He says to him, Ya Ibrahim, alaka haja? Can I help you? Ibrahim is in need for help. He's desperate to get the help of any person, let alone the Archangel Gabriel. So Gabriel asks him, alaka haja? Do you need help? Do you need me to help you at this time? Ibrahim alayhi salam says, Amma ilayka fala, wa amma ila Allahi fana'am. I don't need your help, your personal help, Jibreel. I need the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Definitely I need the help of God. I don't need the help of people around me. In this situation, the only one who can help me today is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thus Allah says in the Quran, قُلْنَا يَا نَارُ كُونِي بَرْدًا وَسَلَامًا عَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَأَرَادُوا بِهِ كَيْدًا فَجَعَلْنَاهُمُ. We made them the losers. They plotted to destroy him, but we made them get destroyed. So, أَن تَعْرِفَ رَبَّكَ. This is the first thing. And once you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're going to feel the inner peace. Inner peace cannot come through more money, more wealth, more friends, more connections with people around us, higher position in the community. That would never bring inner peace. Now that I talk to you, the fire is raging through Southern California. More than 1,000 properties were completely destroyed and turned into ashes. In some of the most affluent communities not only in the nation, but rather in the whole world. Today they are suffering. They are standing there from afar and seeing their properties and their communities being completely destroyed. But some people still have hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people, when they look at their properties get destroyed, they know that the only power in this universe is not the property itself, is not the piece of land itself, is not the money that they have in the bank, is not the friends and the acquaintances that they have, but it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ. It is only through knowing Allah and having and building a beautiful relationship, an intimate, close, personal relationship with Allah. Hearts can find peace. Heart can find serenity. So this is the first part. أن تعرف ربك. The second one, أن تعرف ماذا أراد منك. Or the second part, أن تعرف ما صنع بك. What God has provided you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says we created man in the best of mold, in the best of shape, mental shape, physical shape. We have given him mental power, physical power, intellectual power, spiritual power. We have given him so much beautiful things that other creatures envy him. They don't have them, but the only one who possesses all these good qualities is man. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. In the best shape, in the best design. And we provided him with our